Well, first of all, the Holy Year, like a Jubilee year, as you know, we have the Holy Father, both Pope John Paul II, main couple. This 1900 years since Christ dying, or the birth of Christ. Usually, those were the known as special years of grace. In the Jewish tradition, every for example, every 50th year was a special grace for the people when you were, as a family, when you became indebted, you lost your property, you lost your material things. This was the year when everything was returned back to you. And it was a special, extraordinary grace for the people. So people were looking forward to this Jubilee year, because many of the things that they lost throughout life because of their stupidity, whatever, brokenness, whatever it was, many things were given back to the people which they lost. And the Church continues this whole tradition of Jubilee year as a special, extraordinary grace that God wants to give us. God is making up for us for the things we have not done, or we have failed to do, or we have introduced poison that needs to be healed. And so for us, especially as Marians, to hear number one, it's a Jubilee year of divine mercy. And the Holy Father will give us all the elements of that special Jubilee year. But secondly, for us, it will start on when? On December 8th, which is the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. And we're the Marians of the Immaculate Conception. So we're very, very happy, and we know that the mystery of the Immaculate Conception is a gift of God's mercy to humanity. The Lord has preserved Mary in view of the sufferings and death of her Son to be the Mother of God. Okay, He preserved her from original sin. It's a gift of God's mercy. He wants to regenerate the whole human race to be holy and immaculate. And so, for us especially, to begin this holy year of the Jubilee year on December 8th is extraordinary and great, because this is the day that the Lord wished humanity to be regenerated, to be renewed. As He has done with Our Lady, so He wishes to do it for us and for each one of us.
I don't know if, Robert, you want to add to that anything about the talk of perhaps Faustina becoming a doctor of the Church during this time?
Yeah, I think that this is going to be an extraordinary time for the Church to reflect on the meaning of mercy, and especially Saint Faustina's witness to mercy. Certainly, those of us involved in the Divine Mercy movement, scholars, ecclesiastics, are pondering deeply whether or not the message that God has given to the world through Saint Faustina, not a new message, of course, but a republication of the gospel in the way that especially powerful to us in our time, whether this doesn't merit granting to Saint Faustina the title of Doctor of the Church. So this will be something that the Church will be pondering over the next months and in the run-up to the Jubilee year. I think it's also going to be a year, Chris, that the Church, especially in English-speaking countries, is going to ponder the mystery of mercy in itself more deeply, because we have a semantic problem in English. Usually we use the word mercy just to mean pardon, right? You throw yourself on the mercy of the court, right? And mercy means, somebody lets you off, right? And of course, God's pardon is a huge, important aspect of God's mercy. But mercy in the Catholic tradition, as you know, is much bigger than that. It tied in with the Latin misericordia, which means having God's compassionate heart for the suffering, all the sufferings of His people, sin, guilt, death. And so I think that this is going to be an opportunity to reflect on the deeper meaning of mercy. Now, I would guess that Pope Francis is going to talk quite a bit about the meaning of mercy and really appreciating what it's all about, and showing how Saint Faustina is really the herald of that message for our time.
Very good. Father Seraphim?
Well, the little flower was declared a doctor of the Church for one particular Christian truth, something that the Lord continuously brought to the attention of Sister Faustina. She said, "Why are you always appearing to me as a little child?" She says, "Until you learn the spiritual childhood." So that's a very important thing. The humility of the child is important. And I believe the Lord chose Faustina, as He told her once, because of your humility. Now, Sister Faustina through her diary, as the experts of the spiritual life point out to us, wrote all her experiences with the Lord, and her whole diary is a manual of the Christian life. How God meets us at the beginning, how he helps us to grow in the spiritual life, and how to come to the heights of it. And so, as one particular nun who taught mystical theology in Providence College in Rhode Island pointed out to me, she said, Sister Faustina, through her diary, covers the entire time of a person's life, from the beginning of the spiritual life, its growth, to its highest point of mysticism. And Sister Faustina presents that whole picture. Then she does it in simple language that everyone can understand. And thirdly, every stage of the growth of the spiritual life, she points out with episodes of her own experience. And therefore, she's a magnificent teacher of the entire spiritual life. And therefore, she deserves, as that, to be declared a doctor of the church.
So everybody, please pray for that intention, that Saint Faustina may, with the will of God, be declared a doctor of the church. It would be a beautiful gift. So keep that, please, in your prayers.